Hey everyone, welcome on to Branded, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes and beyond the brand. Today we're going to dive inwards, and I want to talk about when I made this one shift, it really allowed me to confidently start asking for what I'm worth. Like, I have for a long time struggled with a money mindset, having grown up in poverty, having felt like every single dollar that I have ever made and will ever make means I have to work my ass off for it. Having that mindset around money really isn't healthy. And when I started growing my own business and getting into entrepreneurship, it was something that time and time again I found that I only felt confidently about my work if I was giving it away for free. If I was charging somebody for it, it just never felt good enough, right? It never felt like I had done enough or that I was enough in order to stand up to that price tag. And I know I'm not alone here. And I know that that's a vulnerable statement to make, but honestly, it doesn't scare me to say it because I have completely dropped that fake filter of being worried about other people's judgments, being worried about the fact that if I'm going to ask for money in return for my services and my expertise, which I know deep down are really fucking fabulous, if I'm going to ask for what I am worth, I knew I had to shift my perspective around what that ask actually means. So I've been reading this book recently, The Abundance Project, and it's something that I'll read maybe like 2 pages, 10 pages, right? It just like sporadically, I just sort of read a couple pages every day. And it really has helped me start to tap back in to the things that I know are innately true about myself. And it helps to remind me that when you're asking for something that you know you're worth, instead of seeing it as if you are taking something from somebody else, right? So let's say, all right, you're going to work with me, you're going to pay anywhere from $80 an hour to $150 an hour based on the customization and the services that you're wanting. I know that I am worth that price tag 100%. I also know that I'm undercharging compared to a lot of other professionals out there. But instead of seeing that price tag and going, oh, goodness gracious, isn't that expensive? Instead, I see it as a level of expansion because I am asking somebody to confidently agree to my services that I confidently know that I can provide to them. I am now opening up this channel of abundance, not only for myself, but also for them, giving them the confidence to ask for what they are worth because they then are seeing all of that happening in real time. They're working with somebody that is asking for what they're worth. They're getting phenomenal return on the thing that they're paying for. So, this channel of abundance now, instead of it being a give and a take, it's almost like because I'm asking for what I'm worth and then delivering, there is this more expanded, abundant view of the entire transaction from both sides of the equation. So there's this metaphor in the book where he's talking about like breath and how it's the law of circulation. So when we think about how we're running our businesses and when you are finding that, you're just not getting clients booked, you're just not getting people to buy the thing you want them to buy, they're not downloading the resource you really just stand behind and you want them to download, it's probably because you're projecting it from a space of lack. You're projecting from a space of it's just not good enough, right? And think of it as breath in, breath out, right? You have to have that circulation of both things happening. Otherwise, you die. You can't only breathe in. You can't only breathe out. You have to do both things. So think of the client that books, buys, or downloads from you. That's the breath in, right? They are feeding into your channel and providing life, resource, money, right? They're providing those things into your business. You're the breath out. You're providing the value, the education, the actual return on whatever it is that they're purchasing from you, right? So it is all sides of the equation. Breath in, breath out. You have to have that level of circulation, otherwise it's stagnant. And nobody likes a stagnant like pond of water. Ugh, disgusting, right? So gross. Another thing to consider too is when you have this shift of perspective and you start asking for what you are worth. And because this opens up and creates an ever expanded channel of abundance for all parties involved, it actually creates this larger space that your client can now inhabit. So something that I encountered whenever I first started doing stuff with just online, right? I was in network marketing business. I was just figuring out how to build a business online. I was just figuring out how to use social media, like, let's be honest, because I didn't know how to use it before. I didn't use it before, right? I would just post pictures from like a vacation or something, and that's all I knew how to use it for. But it's actually a really incredible business tool, and it took me some time to learn that. But something that I would encounter frequently is, okay, this person said no, right? You reach out, you do a cold message, you're doing posting on your wall, you're commenting back to people, like you're highly engaged in all the things, but why are you doing it? You're doing it not for what's in it for them, but what's in it for you, is usually the case. We have got to flip that. And we have to understand that the assumptions that we have about somebody else's financial stability or where they're at in their life, all that is doing is placing them inside of a teeny tiny little box. And guess what? When you do that, that person will never outgrow your assumption about them. Let me repeat that. People will never outgrow your assumptions about them. They will shrink or expand to fill the space that you give them. Have you ever come across, like, let's say you're at a dinner party with some friends, right? And I guarantee you have noticed how you act differently with certain people, right? There's some people that they just energize you, they fill you up, they make you feel so expanded. And then there's other people that make you feel very small and insignificant and unsure of yourself. So the assumptions you place on your clients that they don't have the money for the product and the services that you offer, that they're not ready to buy, it is not your responsibility to have those assumptions about them or to make those decisions for them. Be available as a huge channel of abundance. Be there as an expanded space. Allow them to fill up instead of shrinking them down into the assumptions that you have about them and their abilities to pay you for your services. When I made this shift in my business, it really, really helped me start asking for what I'm worth, because then the conversation it wasn't about what they have or don't have that then could match what I can offer. It became, this is my genius and this is what I have to offer. If your business is ready for that expansion, I am here with open arms. There are no boxes that you will be placed in, right? And that is one of the absolute most favorite parts of my business, is that I get to have conversations with these other business owners. At first, it starts with a lot of uncertainty. Ooh, I don't know if we can do this. This is what I would love to do. And I always am coming back to them saying, what is the bigger picture here? What is the biggest, most beautiful, juiciest version of the thing that you want to actually get done? Because I bet you we could probably do it. And if we can't do that exactly, we can do a version of it. So I give them this big, beautiful space to exist. So that way, my assumptions about my own self-worth and my own money mindset and all of those things that I am constantly working on, I don't let those bleed into my business and make it mean something about me. I stand behind the genius that I have, albeit it's fucking shocking and surprising to me all the time whenever I complete a project and I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe that this is a skill that I'm just now honing in my mid-30s. But such is life, and I'm going to fully embrace it. Like, I may have not been as good at what I'm doing right now 10 years ago. I didn't have the wisdom that I have now. So maybe I would have approached it differently. Maybe I would have gotten frustrated by certain aspects of it, right? But now I have the wisdom I have the perspective that I have the compassion, I have the abundance, I have an entirely different mindset than I did 4 years ago. And it has now placed me in a space that allows me to confidently ask for what I'm worth. So understanding that, yes, asking what you're worth, it's an inside game. The majority of it is an inside game. But at the same time, it's also what you project. So be really fucking sure that you are not placing your clients inside a box that they then have to shrink into in order to work with you. The assumptions that you place on people will be exactly how you experience them. And this goes for relationships, friendships, right? It's not just your business. And this is something that I am constantly working on. If I have a preconceived notion about somebody or something or some sort of thing that I'm engaged with, I will pull myself back, become very aware of the fact that I am having a sense of bias or judgment. And I'll think about, like, why? It's a projection of me. It's something that is inside of me that is making me experience it in this way. Do I have to? No, not if I don't want to, right? So instead of feeling guilty about charging what I'm worth, instead, I know for certain that because I charge what I'm worth, I confidently show up, provide, and do the work that I promise will be done, create an incredible customer experience, which then leads to clients staying with me month to month to month, which is absolutely phenomenal. If any of you are watching this, I love you. I absolutely love what my business has turned into and how much the client relationship, like, it really just, it continues to create this weave that is just so beautiful, and it just gets stronger and stronger every single month. But it's because I do work like this. It's because I read books. It's because I listen to podcasts. It's because I show up and vulnerably talk about things that I'm going through in my business and personally that helps me process. So make that shift. Allow yourself to start asking what you're worth, because you are not taking anything from anybody. You are giving. You are the breath out. Allow them to be the breath in. All right, you guys, until next time, book a free brand consult if we haven't chatted yet. And I absolutely love having this conversation with you. So feel free to keep it going in the comments, and I'll talk to you next week for a brand new episode. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to Branded, the podcast. Please rate and review. And for more information, visit socialjanemedia.com.